appropriate for me to go there, I'll do it. School board members, as you know, because we've kind of had our own internal clock counting this down. And first, I want to say on behalf of Mr. Chambers, who's not able to be here tonight, what we've been kind of faced with the last year as we've counted down Ms. Scallon's retirement clock is a kind of a mixture of emotions. And really all I can say is that I'll share what I think are echoed by employees across the district. It's very rare that you come across a CFO, and Reed, I won't call you up here yet, but otherwise you'd be up here longer than you want to be. Every meeting that I've ever been in with Ms. Scallon, and it goes back a number of years, the mantra that she's lived by and that she's helped run this district by is, what is the right thing to do for kids? And so she's very fiscally responsible and has established this district as one of the strongest financially in the state of Florida. But whenever Ms. Lightbourne, whenever someone in the ESC department, whenever someone be in maintenance or facilities, asks a question, identifies a need, she wants to know what is the right thing to do for students and employees. And that's what she's, I think, lived her entire career by. And on a personal note, before she comes up and we read a plaque that we've have for her, and maybe ask her to say a few words, I'm going to say about Rita Scallon that she's done two things for me personally. She has made me a much better employee than I ever would have been. And more importantly to me is she's made me a better person, because she is as compassionate as they come, as kind as they come. And I know that the district and board members will miss her, but I would like to bring her up right now and read to her a proclamation or an award that this district has on her behalf. If you'll give me just a moment. Ms. Scallon, can you come up? I'm going to struggle, she's not. So this says, in grateful recognition of the dedication, achievements, and leadership of Rita Scallon, admired and respected for 21 years of distinguished service to Okaloosa schools, presented with respect and highest esteem by Superintendent Marcus Chambers and the Okaloosa County School Board, June 14th, 2021. We love you, Rita.
Just a couple of words. The day that I had the opportunity to come to work for the school district was a blessed day for me. 21 years. Sorry, I don't want to get emotional. 21 years later, I'm honored to have worked for this school district. This school district, school boards, superintendents, school board attorney, they have been wonderful, and all of them have the same goal, is to do what is best for students. And that's how we've lived our life for the last 21 years and prior to that. And I just cannot say enough good things about the school board, superintendent, this school district, these employees. They are the best, without a doubt. And I know lots of times it's a cliche when we say, oh, this is the best district in the state of Florida, but this is the best district in the state of Florida, bar none. And last but not least, I wanted to say a tremendous thank you to my staff. They have been outstanding. Integrity, loyalty, dedication, and the comfort that I have when I move into the next chapter of my life is that I leave you guys in good hands, and I will pass the finance torch to them, and they will carry it further. And so thank you for the last 21 years.
Thank you. So Ms. Scallon, real quick before you go off. So I'm going to go around the dais here, and I'm going to start with Ms. Gardner. If you, anything you'd like to say to Ms. Scallon?
We're all crying. Okay. Mr. Horton, you said this was kind of mixed emotions. It's not. It's sad. I mean, we just,
No mixed.
as a previous principal, and I just thank you for everything. That's all I can say right now is thank you. And I know you're leaving us in wonderful hands with Miss Julie there, but you are going to be greatly. And it's a sad day for us.
Ms. Vancha?
Well, I made this what I think is a funny joke several times about you, because there are very few people in the world that can go by one name. You got Madonna, you got Cher, but in Okaloosa County Schools, it's Rita. No one ever says Rita who. They know who Rita is, and that's a good thing. They know because of your competence, because of your skill, but also because of the way you work with individuals. Like Mr. Horton said, we always know you're sincere. You're trying to do everything you can to make it better for students, for employees. I've told you many times coming on this board, I'm a words person, being a former English teacher, and in the past, I've had some conflicts with those of you who are very good with numbers, which I'm not, but not with you. And you never made me feel belittled by the questions that I asked, and there were many. I'm sure very stupid, probably you were laughing inside, but you never felt that way. And you told me, I don't care if I have to explain it to you 10 times as long as you get it. And I thank you for that, and I appreciate your friendship as well as your professionalism, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
Dr. Kelly?
Goodness, where to start, Rita? So I've worked with Ms. Scallon her entire career in our district and half of mine in this district. And I just can think over the 4 or 5 different superintendent administrations that we've worked together with in our different roles in this district. And to say that Rita has made herself amenable and available to every leadership style is an understatement. I've seen her perform skits where she dressed up like a member of a safari. I remember that. I have been in skits with her, acting out different characters and different roles that people have had us play over the years. But no matter what she was called upon to do, she did it with grace and with finesse. And she always made the numbers magic for whatever our projects were at the school-based level or at the district level, no matter where I was and no matter where she was in her career. So I will remember those things. We do share some of our life passions, of course, grandchildren now, and horses. We both love horses and those adventures. So whenever I hear the horse neigh anymore or pass a horse carriage on the roadway or any of those dualies pulling a horse contraption, I think about Rita. And I will in the future look forward to horseback riding with Rita. So I wish you many years of good luck and most importantly, relaxation time with friends and family that we know you didn't have before because you were either here on the job or in a transportation vehicle getting here and from your job. So we thank you and we appreciate you, admire you, and respect you for everything you've done for us and wish you the best in your next chapter.
Thank you.
Dr. White?
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I can really start off by saying is I remember those 21 years ago and how wonderful it was when you came to work with the school system. And everyone has already made awesome, wonderful comments about everything you've done for the school district and the students and the employees. But when I think about you, I guess there are 3 words that come to mind. And the first one is competence. Every time, anytime, anyone that I know of that had to work with you was impressed by that tremendous ability that you had, your competence in everything that you presented to us and that you did. Also, your professionalism, the consummate professional, always, every time we met, every time, sometimes we had to make decisions, but you were always the professional. And then finally, in my way of thinking, you're just the kind of quality person that, as Ms. Gardner said, we really will miss. And we got your phone number, though. So,
On speed
count on
dial.
Call
it.
me.
But thank you, Ms. Gardner.
Thank you.
And finally, I would just like to say thank you, Rita, for everything. I know when I got elected to the school board, Ms. Thigpen told me, make sure you sit down with Rita and get to know her because she will be one of your best friends throughout the district. And of course, in our conversations, I'm the one that comes from the private sector, so you kind of had to like, hey, this is not the private sector, it's the public sector. And but we had great conversations, and I think like everybody else has said, just your professionalism, your just who you are. You're just such a great person. And I know when I was in Tampa last week, like Linda said, it was Rita. That's how they knew you, Rita, because they know we have the best CFO. And when they found out you're retiring, they were like, oh. But thank you so very much for all that you do. And I promise those pennies I planted at Carver Hill, I'm going to keep watering them, okay, until they sprout up.
Yeah, let me know the status on that.
Borrow money.
Thank y'all.
All right, so before you go, Rita, the school board does have something we would like to all come down.
So, Miss Rita, we got you this crystal vase because we know you're a lady that deserves many, many flowers. And we hope in the future they're filled for you and bring you a lot of joy. And so we want to present this, and we want to start you off with the first bouquet from the school board here tonight. So thank you again. We hope you enjoy this. And like I said, you deserve many, many beautiful flowers. So we want to come over and get.
And we really are wishing you happy trails.
That's right.
You are going to
Thank you.
be.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I'll just hold this for you because
Okay.
your hands are full, but it's yours.
Sure, sure.
Can't hide that there.
As far away from the lens as you can.
Okay, so I'll take it over here to you.
Congratulations.
But tonight's not your last meeting, right? Okay, good. We have you for a few more weeks.
We get her for one more, so.
Oh, one more, okay.
All right, so we're now down to section 3.2, and Mr. Horton.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Semek, there may not be roses, but we'll live with that. So we're also here tonight to recognize the retirement of a lifelong educator in Okaloosa County, Mr. Dennis Semak. He has spent a number of years at Eglin Elementary School, leading that school, and has also been at Lewis and Destin and many other locations. What I will say about Mr. Semak is our paths crossed early on in the early 90s. He was probably a veteran at that point in time, but I was a first-year basketball coach, and so we squared off on the basketball court from time to time. But tonight, on behalf of Superintendent Chambers, we want to recognize Mr. Dennis Semak, and we'll have a plaque for him that I'll read in just a moment. And I will say that wherever Dennis goes, whatever school he's at, and Dr. Kelly, I know you've worked with him, he is so personable and so approachable and so team-oriented in everything that he does. He doesn't take credit for anything, but yet everywhere he goes, he builds successful schools and successful programs. And I will say that, as I mentioned, and I'll mention briefly that our district assessment results are going to start coming back in this summer, and I wouldn't be surprised if Eglin Elementary did a fantastic job in that area again, because that's just the kind of leader that he is. So we'll be on the lookout for that. But let me get Mr. Semak up here and read a plaque to him.
Third grade came in at 84% today.
Oh, okay, so I kind of knew that. Yeah. In grateful recognition of the dedication, achievements, and leadership of Dennis Semak, admired and respected for 35 years of distinguished service to Okaloosa schools, presented with respect and highest esteem by Superintendent Marcus Chambers and the Okaloosa County School Board, June 14th, 2021. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. It's been a long road, and it's about time for it to end. I had the privilege of working with Miss Rita in negotiations for several years, and one of us can be replaced tonight, and one cannot. But it's just an outstanding opportunity for me to work with somebody of your caliber. So, thank you. First of all, thank you to the school board, a lot of familiar faces. If I could introduce a couple of people, my mother is here tonight. She took a day off work to come watch me retire. And then my wife is in the back. My wife's mother, Robbie, is in the back, and my son Josh is in the back, and my sister Cheryl is in the back. So that kind of sums up we're a family, a lot of educators in the family, with a son and a sister and a wife that are, well, my wife's just retired also. So Annie and I are both going out 35 years. Thank you, Dr. Kelly was one of the ones that believed in me. Thank you, Ms. Gardner, for what a job you had that first year as a supervisor. And that couldn't have worked any better for some of us new principals to have somebody like you that helped us work through it. So a lot of respect there. And the young one and the new one, we both talked about that last week and how much you helped us through that. So thank you. It's been a great ride. I've had an opportunity to work with the military families, and that's been a true privilege. And we're ready to get on our bikes and ride off into the sunset for a while. Steve was 1-4 against me, but just kidding. But we both beat Chambers when he had a 6th grade team, so we did that. Thank y'all very much. I appreciate it.
Any SAMAC who's not an Auburn fan, come on up for a picture. Come on, everybody, come on, take me a picture.
Yeah, I was going to give them permission to go War Eagle one time, okay? So.
I think that's understood.
Yeah. All right, so now we are to section 3.3, and that is the recognition of the 2020 through 2021 Kids Tag Art Program winners. And this is presented by the Honorable Ben Anderson, who is our Okaloosa County tax collector. And this is one of those events where we can say, we're glad to see the tax collectors.
You guys are probably the only ones glad to see the tax collector. Well, let me tell you, it is great to be back. It's great to see each of you, but really, I must begin this by saying congratulations to you. It's been an extraordinary year, many, many challenges for all of government, but I don't know that there could have been anything more challenging than for you as the school board, for Superintendent Chambers and his staff. You know, you have the responsibility of over 30,000 children and more than that with employees, and to take a 6-week, almost a 2-week to 4-week period and take them out of a class and put them online. What an extraordinary feat accomplished by you to close out a year and then going into a new school year with so many unknown factors. I can tell you from running my office, every day was a reactive day, and it was also a proactive day. There was no book that we could pull out to follow. There were no guidelines that we could experience. And what they did 100 years ago did not match up to what we needed today. And it took courage on your part, but probably the most significant thing you did in creating your school programs was to communicate. The communication that you brought to another level with over 35,000 teachers, employees, and students, and then you can add in another 50 to 70,000 parents and grandparents. What an amazing feat. But it's good to be back. It's good to have the opportunity to be here and now proactively look into classrooms again and bringing children back to campus. So thank you for your leadership. Not just the students, not just the parents, but the entire community appreciates your efforts. Extraordinary. Well, as I said, 2020 and 2021 presented new challenges for us. So in our Kids Tag Art program, we normally kick it off in August. Well, we pushed that back, but we did not want to let a year go by. Just as all of us said we're not giving in, so we put one together. It was a spring program this year. We had 10 schools participate, and through that, they still did their drawings and they got them turned in. And those 10 schools sold 681 tags. And through our good sponsorship with the Sheriff's Office, and we're very pleased to have Sheriff Eric Aiden as our partner in here as one of our key sponsors. But this year we raised $10,655.16. As a tax collector, we count the pennies. So it was another great, great year. And we're just very excited. We had participation at each of these 10 schools. We have awards of distinction winners, and then we have the choice award winners that I, as a tax collector, select one, and that tag will go on the front of one of our vehicles for our office. And then we had the Sheriff's Choice Award winner, and Sheriff Aiden, if you would come forward. And then we had the Superintendent's Choice winners, who we've asked to come here tonight. As you know, we normally fill this room up with all those happy young faces, but this is where we are. But that's not the entire story of this year. We this year have crossed over $100,000. $103,195 is our total since we began this program with you. And the significant part about that is that's $103,000 that is raised through non-tax revenues. That's raised by the efforts of children selling tags, great sponsors that we have in the community, and this is non-taxable revenues that turn immediately back to the children, into the arts programs, music programs, to whatever the elementary school principals decide the best way to serve their student population. And so we're very excited about that. Now we're on to 200,000. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to keep this thing going. And again, I really want to recognize Sheriff Aiden, Superintendent Chambers, but most importantly, the young children that are participating in all of your elementary schools. So tonight we have with us, are they? Oh, they are. So the Sheriff's Choice Award winner is Thomas Creek from Elliott Point. Chief. Excuse me. You know, I kept saying all along, don't say Creek, say Chief. Okay. Yeah, hold that.
Turn around here. We'll hold up the tag. Look at that. Pretty much represents every portion of the sheriff's office. How awesome is that?
Okay, scoot over this way. Thomas, come over this way. We're going to get another picture. She's the boss lady. She's going to tell us where to stand.
You want to hold your...
Eric, come over here.
I just need y'all, I want to try to get you.
You stand
Go
right
there in the middle.
You're dead center. Don't you move. Move outside.
In the middle here.
How about one with just the sheriff?
Thank you.
All right. Well done.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. The superintendent's choice is Emma Amador from Riverside Elementary. Come up here, Emma. How are you? It's so nice to see you. And let me show you, this is your award. hold it up for everybody to see your tag. Emma drew this. And this will go on one of Marcus's cars for the year. You hold this here. All right, Emma, thank you so much. And I don't believe could make it tonight is Mayla Martin from Northwood Elementary as the tax collector's choice too. So thank you very much. This is the image that Mayla made.
It has her name on it.
We'll send this to her. Thank you very much. To each of you again, thank you. We appreciate everything. Keep up the good work.
So, Mr.
Thank you.
Anderson, before you run off, I would just like to let the school board members maybe say a little something, just because what you do for our schools and this tag art program is such a huge success, and I think it's just neat to see the partnership that we have with other agencies, the sheriff. So, Ms. Gardner, if you.
Just thank you. As a previous principal, I know how much the children enjoy doing this, and again, how it benefits our schools and our art programs, so thank you for taking the time. And you mentioned earlier, and you were thanking us, I just thank the community and our parents and teachers, listening to some webinars and some things going on in the state of Florida, how some school board members are being beaten up. I mean, not
Right.
physically, but you know,
Yeah.
the negative comments, you know, school board members not wanting to run again or quitting. And I just thank our community, our parents, individuals that come in, and we really truly do work as a partner and doing what's best for the children. So again, thank you
Thank
for
you.
everything you do.
Kind words.
Thank you.
Ms. Manchik.
Yeah, and thank you, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you. And I appreciate those words, but I think in Okaloosa County, in all areas, you know, we've really weathered the pandemic well and a lot of different things, because we are a community that stays together in all of our agencies and everything. We work together. But I particularly love this as a former, you know, classroom teacher. I wasn't an art teacher, but I believe strongly in the arts, and this is so important. Art is an important part of education. And this is, I didn't realize that it crossed the 100,000 mark. That's quite significant.
Yeah.
And I'm sure next year, being able to get more of the students involved as
Right.
it normally, it'll be really on the way to getting your next goals. So good luck with that, and thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Dr. Kep.
Well, I just have to say thank you personally and professionally for the supporter that you are of educators and of education in general. And then that philosophy permeates everything that you do. And it really, truly is an honor to serve with community leaders like those we have in this room and in this community. And I see us very often crossing paths and holding hands and supporting each other in our joint efforts. Certainly, Sheriff Aden has been a huge part of our community, supporting all of us as educators and any of the things that we do together. And as the tax collector's office, this is just one example of the things you do to support educators and education in our community. And certainly, as a proponent of the arts, I love that this particular program goes right back into the arts and music programs in our schools. So thank you for that. And thank you, Sheriff
Dr.
Aden,
Kelly.
for sponsoring that.
Thank you.
And Dr. White.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Anderson, I told you before the meeting how much we appreciate this project that you started, and has been so great for kids in our art program. And we're just very grateful for that, and we're also grateful for your support, because as they said, you have been a strong supporter of our schools and of our students, and also the same to Sheriff Aden and all the other folks in your office that have been so helpful. And we just appreciate you, and thanks for doing it, man.
Thank you.
Right. And again, thank you so much for all that you do. And I'll just do a plug for the Okaloosa School Foundation. Go see Mr. Anderson for an education tag. We got 2 different kinds, so he'll be happy to
Good.
hook you up with an education tag. So, but again, thank you, Mr. Anderson, Sheriff Aden, and to all of the students who were recognized tonight, congratulations.
I think we're all blessed for the opportunity to serve the citizens of this county and work together in that service. So thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to move on down to Section 5. Section 4, we have no visitors tonight. So Section 5, administrative personnel appointments, and 5.1, Mr. Horton, I'll let you begin.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. We have a number of these tonight and excited about each and every one of them. First and foremost, Director 1 Operational Services, we're going to be bringing Mr. Grant Meyer as a recommendation from the superintendent. Mr. Grant Meyer began his education career in Okaloosa County as a high school teacher and coach. He has had the opportunity to teach at the middle and high school levels. In 2006, he was appointed to assistant principal at his alma mater, Niceville High School. Mr. Meyer was later the principal at Pryor Middle School, and then the last 5 years has been the principal at Destin Middle School. He is committed to the success of all students and supporters and supports educators throughout Okaloosa County. He has been over facilities and maintenance at multiple schools and worked through many construction projects during his tenure as principal. Mr. Myers holds a master's degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida. He is married to his wife, Amy, who is also an administrator in Okaloosa County. They have 2 grown sons, also products of Okaloosa Schools, Hayden and Harley. On behalf of Superintendent Chambers, I bring a recommendation of Mr. Grant Meyer for Director 1 Operational Services.
Thank you, Mr.
Bryant, since I've had the privilege of knowing Mr. Grant since I guess he was in the 7th grade, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, so Dr. White is making the motion for the appointment of Director 1 Operational Services as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Well, this is difficult because he's coming from Destin Middle School, and there are many upset people that you are leaving the school, but yes, I will approve.
Okay, and Ms. Ivanchek?
Yes.
And Dr. White, or Dr. Kelly?
Yeah.
Dr. White?
Yes.
And I vote yes, the motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. Dr. White, thank you for forgiving me for what I did in 7th grade. I appreciate it. But Mr. Bryant, thank you and all the board members. Much appreciated. I thank you so much. Thank Mr. Chambers and Mr. Horton. Thank you. Look forward to working with you and all the principals and all the communities throughout the county. We got some work to do, but I'm excited about it, and we got some big things coming, so much appreciated. Thank you so much.
All right.
There's no board member for this position.
Congratulations.
That was a pre-request for time off. Grandparent.
All right, Mr. Horton, we're to section 5.2.
All right. This would be the Choctawhatchee High School Athletic Director.
Yes, sir.
Bring before you recommendation for Andy Thigpen for the position of Athletic Director at Choctawhatchee High School. Andy Thigpen is a proud product of Okaloosa County Schools. He attended Mary Esther Elementary, Bruner Middle School, and graduated from Fort Walton Beach High School. During his high school athletic career, Andy played football, basketball, and baseball. Andy attended Northwest Florida State College, where he earned his Associate of Arts degree. Andy then transferred to Point University in West Point, Georgia, to continue his education and pursue his dream of playing college basketball. While at Point University, Andy was a member of 2 regional championship teams, on a national runner-up team, and a national championship team. Andy also earned 2 all-conference selections, a Conference Player of the Year recognition, and an All-American Award, which I did not know. Andy earned a degree in business administration and a minor in biblical studies. Upon graduation, Andy decided to come back to help run the family business. After several years working with the family business, Andy decided to pursue his passions, education and sports. Andy began his career in education 13 years ago at Choctawhatchee High School as a math teacher and assistant basketball coach under Mark Teza. This past season marked Andy's 10th season as the head boys basketball coach at Choctawhatchee High School. As a head coach, Andy has accumulated a record of 217 wins and 75 losses. His teams have made 9 playoff appearances, won 5 district championships, made 6 Sweet 16 appearances, 3 Elite 8 appearances, won 2 regional championships, made 2 Final Four appearances, and was the state runner-up twice. Andy has been married to Sharon for 17 years, and they have 2 daughters. Addison will be a 7th grader at Pryor Middle School, and Avery will be a 6th grader at Pryor Middle School next year. On behalf of Superintendent Chambers, I bring a recommendation of Mr. Andy Thigpen for Athletic Director, Choctawhatchee High School.
Thank you, Mr. Horton. And with that,
And I'll make that motion, Mr. Bryant.
all right. So Dr. White has made the motion that we accept the appointment of Athletic Director, Choctawhatchee High School, as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Ivanchek. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White? How do you vote? And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Good evening. Would definitely like to thank Superintendent Chambers, who's not here in his absence, for just his support and faith in me. Mr. Horton, just love seeing the smile all the time, and just his support in the background, and for the board here this evening, just for allowing me to pursue my dream and my passion for being an athletic director. Just a lot of people I'll just need to thank a couple. Of course, the Choctaw community as a whole, I got a lot of support in my corner. Cindy Gates, who actually hired me back in 2008, taking a chance on me, and Dr. Hale was actually my first high five after I got my job. I still remember that, and him in the front office. And then Mrs. Heck, who has supported me throughout my whole career as a colleague, and then also as my boss to this day. So thank you, Mrs. Heck, for your support. And then also, Choctaw is not Choctaw without Mrs. Ivanchek and her traditions. She instilled those traditions in me when I stepped on campus, and we'll still continue those on as we go along. And also to my family, my wife Sharon, my girls Avery and Addison, for the support that they give night in and night out for what they've done for me. And also to my parents, who definitely raised me the right way and continue to raise me in the right way as well. But hopefully I can do Choctaw proud and also the school district. So thank you.
All right, congratulations.
Ms. Heck, round them up. Come on. Family. Coach Horton's watching. Coach Horton. Hey, sir, how are you? Fine, sir. I'm sorry. Okay, that's fine. Go in there and I'll get behind. She's so tall. I can't understand.
All right, Mr. Horton, we're 5.3. The Choctaw Show continues.
Choctaw Show. Here we go.
District 1.
District 1, there you go.
Put down the wrong thing.
That is true. We got Shalimar right after this. so-
That's right. So this is a recommendation for Assistant Principal 1, Choctawhatchee High School, Mr. Ryan Lanfer. And I'll read a bio. Ryan Lanfer, originally from Blue Springs, Missouri, moved to Okaloosa County in 2012 and has been a part of the Choctawhatchee High School family ever since. Mr. Lanfer previously earned his bachelor's degree in English education at Peru State College, located in Nebraska, in case you were wondering, where he also finished his baseball career before becoming a graduate assistant. Upon his move to Florida, he was fortunate enough to join the Choctaw family as an English teacher, where he spent 7 years in the classroom while also serving as the head baseball coach. Mr. Lanford's time and experience in the classroom inspired him to pursue a future in administration. He has continued to follow the path of a lifelong learner by completing his master's degree in educational leadership from American College of Education in 2018. The following year, Mr. Lanford stepped away from the classroom and baseball field to follow his aspirations to become a school administrator and has spent the last 2 years as the 10-month assistant principal at Choctawhatchee High School. Ryan and his wife, Erin, have been married for 4 years. They have a beautiful daughter, Ava Grace, who is 2 years old, and are expecting their second child, Camden, any day now. Any day now. He is extremely excited for the challenge and opportunity to continue his career as a Big Green Indian and looks forward to growing as an instructional leader and serving as a member of the administrative team at Choctawhatchee High School. On behalf of Superintendent Chambers, I bring a recommendation to Mr. Ryan Lamfer for Assistant Principal 1, 12-month at Choctawhatchee High School.
All right. Dr. White?
I'll make that motion.
All right. So Dr. White has made the motion for the appointment of Assistant Principal 1, 12-month at Choctawhatchee High School as recommended by the superintendent. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second by Ms. Ivanchek. Any other discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Following Mr. Thigpen's speech, the first thing that I always think of is just really how nice it is to have the support of all of our Choctaw family. And at Choctaw, we constantly refer to it as a family. And so Mr. Horton mentioned it there, but I'm fortunate to have been at Choctaw really my entire career as an educator. And so being able to start as a teacher and work my way up continues to really inspire me to continue to want more and to have a stronger impact on our students, to support our teachers and really the Choctaw community as a whole. A few people that I would like to thank is I would like to thank the board for your approval and recommendation as well. I would also like to thank Mr. Chambers, who's not here, Mr. Horton, and Ms. Heck, who's here somewhere over here. But I want to thank Ms. Heck as well for the continued support in me in becoming more of an instructional leader and growing year after year. And lastly, she's being quiet right now, but my daughter and then my wife, Erin, and then our soon-to-be probably later this week. So thank you very much.
All right. Congratulations.
Wouldn't this be amazing? Right, that just happened.
No, it would not be amazing.
Yep. 10 months.
Right.
Mr. Hort, we're going to wait just a second.
Yes,
here
sir.
real quick.
This might be a record.
Might be a record. Yeah.
We'll have to go back a little bit.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Horton?
Mr. Bryan and board members, this recommendation is for Assistant Principal 2 at Shalimar Elementary School. Ms. Jennifer Lewis is a proud product of the Okaloosa County School District, where she graduated from, you guessed it, Choctawhatchee High School. Jennifer attended the University of West Florida, earning a bachelor's degree in elementary education and her master's degree in educational leadership. She has been an educator for 18 years and has been with the Okaloosa County School District for the last 12 years. She began her teaching career in North Carolina, where she taught kindergarten and first grade. She then moved to MacDill Air Force Base, where she taught kindergarten, first, and second grades. In 2009, she moved back to the place she calls home, Okaloosa County, where she has resided ever since. Jennifer has been at Shalimar Elementary for 9 years and has been grade level chair, a model classroom, and SAC president. She currently serves as the Title I ELA remediation teacher. Jennifer is dedicated to being a lifelong learner and is excited about to begin this new journey as an instructional leader. She feels very fortunate to be able to continually grow as an educational leader under the guidance of Principal Kim McSparron. Jennifer has been married to her husband, Rodney Lewis, and has 2 beautiful daughters. Her 15-year-old, Kaylin Cerny, is a freshman at Niceville High School, and her 13-year-old, London Lewis, is in 7th grade at Ruckle Middle. She feels honored to be recommended as the assistant principal. On behalf of Superintendent Chambers, I bring a recommendation of Ms. Jennifer Lewis for Assistant Principal 2 at Shalimar Elementary.
All right, Dr. White?
I'd like to make that motion.
All right, and Dr. White makes the motion for appointment of Assistant Principal 2, 10-month Shalimar Elementary as recommended by the superintendent for approval. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. First, I would just like to thank Superintendent Chambers for his recommendation and trust in me, as well as the school board members' approval and vote. I would like to thank Ms. McSparron and Ms. Armstrong for their continual support and mentorship and always believing in me. They've taught me so much about leadership, and I'm so grateful and feel so blessed to continue learning and growing under Ms. McSparron. Now I'm going to cry. I would also like to thank my Shalimar family. They've supported and encouraged me throughout my entire time at Shalimar, and I'm excited to continue my journey where my heart is and where it stays. And then I'd like to thank my family. They've supported me and encouraged me while I was earning my master's degree, working full-time, being a mom, and I just appreciate all of their help and support, and I'm excited to continue my journey at Shalimar where my heart is. So thank you guys so much.
Congratulations.
Come on. Sir. Oh, is that the balloons too? Oh, here we go. Here, girls, have a balloon. There you go. Right here. Why don't we just hold it up here? Are you there?
I'm good.
Please help. That was gonna be Sorry.
Okay. Yes.
I'll make the motion. Oh, the air conditioner's working.
That's good.
I thought I just received.
So we're going to give it a minute, Mr. Horton, let everybody get out.
Tag out. I think we're good now. We're moving.
I'm all right.
Tag out.
I guess we need to give Eric the title of crowd control.
Got a lot on me. Dr. Kelly had to bang that gavel real hard
I know.
Thursday.
It was like I forgot it. And I remembered, I was like, bang, woke everybody up.
It's louder than you think it's going to be.
Okay, Mr. Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan and board members. This is for the position of Assistant Principal 2, 10-month at Elliott Point Elementary School. Ms. Dawn Johnson earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education with a minor in psychology from Fayetteville State University. A military move brought her family to Florida, where she began her educational career in the Okaloosa County School District in 2009. She taught kindergarten at Longwood Elementary for 5 years before transferring to Floros Elementary, where she has taught kindergarten, 1st, 3rd, and 5th grade. That's a wide span of grades. She was selected by her peers as Teacher of the Year at both Longwood Elementary and Floros Elementary. In 2017, she was recognized as a top 3 finalist for Okaloosa County Teacher of the Year. She has served on a variety of committees at both the district and school level. Her teaching methods provided the opportunity for others to observe her and her students as an OCSD model classroom. After obtaining her reading and gifted endorsements, she knew it was time to pursue her dream of being a school leader. She earned her master's degree in educational leadership from the University of West Florida in 2018. She is the mother of 2 children, Heather and Ryan. She also has 1 grandson, Rory. Her philosophy and strong belief is in a growth mindset. She recognizes that it encourages and allows students and teachers to take risks, seek feedback, learn from their mistakes, become motivated to face challenges head-on, and put forth the effort to succeed. On behalf of Superintendent Chambers, I bring a recommendation of Ms. Dawn Johnson for Assistant Principal 2, 10-month at Elliott Point Elementary.
I would be honored to make that motion.
So Ms. Gardner makes the motion for appointment of Assistant Principal 2, 10-month Elliott Point Elementary School as recommended by the superintendent. I need a second, please.
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. Although Mr. Chambers isn't here, I would still like to thank Superintendent Chambers for the recommendation and for his vote of confidence. To the school board members, thank you for your vote of confidence and for your continued support. I would like to thank my family and friends, those that are here and those that are watching online, for your love and your encouragement as I pursued my dreams. And to Dawn Massey, thank you for being a leader who inspires others to follow your dreams. You have been an amazing mentor, and I am very blessed to have worked for you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. To Mr. Nuss, thank you so much for this opportunity. I promise to bring my passion and my dedication into all that I do at the Point. As Walt Disney once said, all of our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I am grateful for this opportunity, and I am excited to begin this new journey as an Elliott Point Eagle. Thank you.
You're good. Can't hardly see it. Right, everybody smile. Looking good. All right. Right there. Perfect.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and move on down to Section 6, Public Comment. 6.1, members of the public desiring to address the school board. Form MIS 5241, public input and/or discussion of agenda items. And Mr. Mitchell is telling me we have nobody here tonight, so we'll go on down to Section 7, which was workshop only. And now we are to Section 8, consent agenda. 8.1, approval of the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve, please.
Also move.
Dr. Kelly makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Garner. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Garner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So now we'll move to Section 9, and we had a lot on Section 8 there. So Section 9, 9.1 and 9.2 were information only, so now we are to 9.3, employment separations. I need a motion to approve.
Move it.
Dr. White makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Evancheck. Any other discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.4, instructional and educational support personnel recommendations for the 2021-2022 school year. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
A motion by Ms. Evancheck. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.5, administrative, managerial, and professional technical personnel recommendations for the 2021 through 2022 school year. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you
Yes.
vote? And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.6, personnel recommendations. Need a motion to approve, please.
I'll make the motion.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.7, employee transfers. I need a motion to approve.
Move it.
Motion by Dr. White. Second, please.
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.8, employee suspension. I need a motion to approve.
I'll move it.
Ms. Gardner makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Evancheck. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Evancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.9, reinstatement reimbursement of sick leave due to line of duty illness, injury, medical examination. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll move it.
Ms. Vancheck makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Dr. Kelly. Any discussion? Hear none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. 9.10, leave without pay. I need a motion to approve, please.
Move it.
Dr. White makes the motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Second, Ms. Gardner. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So Section 10, there was nothing moved from the consent agenda. So Section 11, 11.1, program status report for the board representatives, and this was under construction program owners representatives business. So Dr. Kelly?
Thank you. We did have a meeting this morning, so I do have a report to present. So this will be our June report. As you know, fellow board members, when these items are listed, we begin at the beginning and we go all through the warranty period. So shortly, task order 1, which has been on there for a while, will be dropped off this list. It is on here now for historical memory for the board. So task order 1 is Niceville High School's roofing. That has been completed, as you know, and it is out of the warranty period with no warranty calls, so we're good on that. Task order 2 is the district-wide school security upgrade project. Phase 1 schools are complete, and as you recall, those were the 4 high schools in Baker and Laurel Hill. Phase 2 has begun since school is now out of session, and those would be some of the projects that needed to be completed without students present. Phase 3, which will be the final phase, the important thing for us to know out of task order 2, phase 3, is that the GMP for those projects will come to us probably in July at our meeting. Task order 3 is Floresta Elementary's parent pickup relocation traffic flow configuration, and that notice to proceed was issued in June of 2019. That has been complete and is out of the warranty period. Task order 4 is Baker School kitchen renovation, and we've all talked about that and seen the pictures and or visited. Everyone is happy there. That is completed and it is in the warranty period. There have been no issues and no warranty calls so far. Task order 5 was the Joe Etheridge Stadium at Choctaw, and that has been completed in the warranty period. We are today waiting on the final inspection report from the engineer in writing, and that should be in hand shortly. Task Order 6 is Pryor Middle School's kitchen renovation. They received the revised floor plan after Jacobs hired a commercial food service consultant from Atlanta. So that is to be received here shortly, and we can report on that next time. Task Order number 7 is Longwood Elementary School corridor internal construction. And you remember we rolled that into Task Order 2 for timing. Task Order 8, Kenwood Elementary School's kitchen and dining room roof replacement. That has been completed and is in the warranty period with no issues. Task Order 9 was repairs to Jack Foster Stadium at Crestview High School. And now that graduation is over, they're working on the materials arrival and repairs with the engineers with the hope to have that stadium to be usable as quickly as possible. Task Order 10 is the time and materials for Bay Area emergency repairs at Lowry, and that was completed as well in the warranty period with no issues. Task Order 11, the district-wide sales tax roofing projects. Those are projects that were funded with our new sales tax, and we had the GMP approved March 22nd, the notice to proceed March 25th, and those are Edge is to be done except for that couldn't be accomplished with kids there. Pryor is working around weather and evenings, and they are about a quarter of the way done. Mary Esther is setting up today with work to start tomorrow. Crestview will follow after Pryor is completed. And that takes us to Task Order 12. That is the district-wide sales tax construction projects. And those, if you recall from last time, friends, the cafetoriums in the elementaries and the multipurpose schools at the multipurpose projects at the high schools. We'll start discussions with those impacted principals shortly, and those designs are proceeding rapidly, we are told. And when those projects are separated from their buildings, they will be attached to the buildings by a covered roof. So that is looking good. Task Order 13, I'm very excited about because that is the time and materials master plan for the consolidation of district services here at Central, and that is on our agenda for this evening. And with that, I'll just end by saying that there is another Sales Tax Oversight Committee meeting June the 22nd here at 4 p.m. Thank you so much.
And as always, thank you, Dr. Kelly, for the information that you are presenting to not only us, but to everybody that's watching tonight.
Happy to share. It's a very fluid discussion every time, and always important. Thank you.
And as Dr. Kelly mentioned, we do have an action item, 11.2, program number 6, task order number 13, time and materials task order to develop a master plan for the consolidation of district services at the Central Administrative Complex in Niceville, Florida. And I need a motion to approve that, please.
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second, Ms. Ivanchak. Any discussion?
Just one comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, yes, sir.
I'd certainly like to remind members of the public that perhaps they might wish to take a look at the video from the workshop on Thursday, where we discuss the funding sources and we discuss the fact that taxpayer revenue would not be used for this item.
Thank you. That's
All right.
an important reminder,
Yes.
Dr. White. Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So we're now down to Section 12, Information Technology Seat Management Contract, and we do have one action item tonight. 12.1 CACI, task order number 2-178 for Niceville High School for data drops. I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Kelly makes a motion. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second. Oh, go ahead.
Second, Dr. White. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ivanchek, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0. So now we are to attorney's business. Mr. McInnes, anything tonight, sir?
No report tonight.
Thank you, Mr. McInnes. And now we will hop over to Mr. Horton, who's filling in for Mr. Chambers tonight. Mr. Horton, any superintendent's business that you'd like to go over tonight?
Not this evening, Mr. Bryant. We set enough on Thursday and tonight. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you, Mr. Horton. And so now we are down to Section 15, Board Members' Announcements and Requests for Information. And 15.1 is the designation of school board members to serve as the advocacy representative and alternate on the Florida School Board Association Advocacy Committee. And I will just say that I am willing to serve again. I really enjoy being a part of that. But if somebody else would like to do it, I'm open to that. But I am willing to put my neck out there for
I'd like to
everybody.
make the nomination for Mr. Bryant to continue.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
All right. And we need an alternate too.
Do we have one at this time?
I think
Dr.
Dr. Kelly was the alternate last year,
I
so,
don't mind continuing.
yeah, okay.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. So with that, we have a motion on the floor for myself to be the representative and Dr. Kelly to be the alternate. So any other discussion?
And is Ms.
Second.
Vancheck seconding that amendment to the motion?
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. We can proceed then?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Gardner, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Vancheck, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, how do you vote?
Yes.
Dr. White, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. The motion carries 5-0.
And thank you both for serving in that capacity.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so we are now to board members' announcements and requests for information, and I will start with my distinguished colleague over here to the left of me, and that would be Dr. White. I'll let you start it off tonight, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Just one thing tonight, and colleagues, I think perhaps by now you may have received the email that I asked Ms. Crawford to send to you regarding the new rule that was established by the state school board. And that was done on Thursday, and I know you've had a chance to look through that. I think that, in my opinion, that rule is pretty specific in terms of what will be taught in the schools, the public schools of Florida. And you might remember that several months ago, I asked that the superintendent and staff take a look at particular board policies regarding instructional materials. And I know that they've been doing that and working hard on that. That Chapter 3, by the way, is quite comprehensive and quite lengthy and makes for some long reading. So I know it's taken some time to put all that together. But I do have a question for our attorney. And Mr. McInnes, I know that you've had a chance to look over some of the preliminary language in that new rule. And I'm wondering how do we incorporate that into our Chapter 3 so that our employees well understand the game rules, if you will, that the state has established?
Yes, sir. We're looking at the entirety of Chapter 3 right now, and there, any place appropriate there, we'll recommend appropriate changes or additions to those policies to be sure we're in compliance with the state board rule.
That's all I have,
All right.
Mr. Bryant.
Thank you, Dr. White. Thank you, Mr. McInnes.
Yes.
And Dr. Kelly, I'll go to you next.
Thank you. Well, I'll repeat some of the things I said at Thursday's workshop because I think they are so important, and then I'll have a couple of additions. So congratulations to Daniel Orcutt from Fort Walton Beach High School for qualifying for the U.S. Olympic swim trials. How incredible is that?
Wow.
And certainly that whole family has been a family of outstanding athletes. So congratulations to Daniel for that. And a reminder that Youth Week 2021 from the Okaloosa County Sheriff's Department begins this week and runs through June the 18th at 4 of our middle schools, or 3, I'm sorry, Ruckle, Bruner, and Shoal River from 8 to noon. If you haven't signed up already, students, you will need to see your school's resource officer to do so. Also, beginning string orchestra from the Symphonia Gulf Coast. Their summer camp begins also today and runs through the 25th, and you can get more information there at their website or from the Destin Community Center. And then, because you all know how I love to keep a calendar, it's what's always kept me organized with all the many things we've gotten ourselves involved in. But August the 6th is right around the corner, and you don't realize that is really only 51 days until our teachers go back to school, and 55 days until our students return. So really, you start off the summer and you think, oh, I've got so much time to get so much done and so many trips and so many projects completed, but really, it's a very short turnaround time. So just keep that in mind. And kudos to the people who are behind the scenes working, as you said, Dr. White, on our district staff and at our school-based level to get ready in 55 days for all the changes that are happening coming from the state level on down. That's all I had.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly. Ms. Vancheck?
Yes, Friday, our district recognized all the retirees throughout the entire district. I believe there was some 150 or so of those, and there was a reception here in this room. I was honored to be able to attend. And again, just want to thank those individuals who've, as I was walking around and talking to them, so many years and so many things that they've done to make our district so great. And you know, retirement is faced by people in individual ways, and many were, you know, while happy, also were, you know, reminiscing over all the things that happened. Of course, this year being a very unique year, but it was great to get to speak with them and to be able to personally thank them. And we do appreciate all our employees, no matter what their role they played. It was important to those students and to everyone who is a part of this district. Also, I believe we start summer school program this week, right, Ms. Lightbourne, Wednesday? Yes. So and not much of a break, and we're back at it for those students who need some help starting this Wednesday. And there's all kinds of different programs, and I'm sure it's on our website, and individuals who are, and those, I'm sure those students have been notified. But this is an opportunity. We all know that things were challenging this year for those students to maybe get a little extra and to get caught up and to enhance their skills. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vancheck. And Ms. Gardner?
Mr. Horton, you mentioned test scores are coming in, and no matter the outcome, and I know that they're going to be outstanding, just to go ahead and get a shout out to our students and our employees and our teachers. No matter what, they've done an incredible job, and I know those test scores are going to reflect that. So I just want to be the first to say congratulations to our students and our teachers. That's all.
All right. And so I will finish up tonight with my comments. And school board members, if you would, I have, since I was at the FSBA conference last week, I did get some information regarding this past session, all the current bills. There's still some that haven't been signed yet, but this is all the information that you need. Overall, education scored pretty good last year. We didn't get everything, but we did score pretty good on a lot of items out there. But this information here is for you to look through, and as you can see, it's pretty thick on some of these things. So, but hopefully that will help out if you have any questions or anything like that. And earlier, Mr. Anderson had mentioned about how proud he was of our school district and just everybody. I would just like to finish the night off just to say thank you to everybody within the Okaloosa County School District, all of our students, all of our parents, all of our guardians, grandparents, everybody who came together this year to help make our school district, the whole school year, a success. We had a lot of challenges. We had a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of uncertainties, but I will tell you that we persevered and we came out. Talking to other school boards across the state over the last week, I can tell you that we were definitely ahead of the game on a lot of things. So, and I also would like to thank my distinguished colleagues on the school board. We had to make a lot of tough choices at the beginning of the school year. We took our lumps, and we made it through. But congratulations on a great school year. I am so looking forward to the upcoming school year where we can say we're going back normal. And with that, we'll move down to section 16, and we do have no public comment for the 2-minute version. And we'll go around the room. Ms. Scallon, anything you'd like to say one last time?
Just thank you.
All right. Dr. Hale? Mr. Strong? Ms. Applebird? Ms. Lightbourne? All right, this meeting's adjourned.